All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to now call the board's August 21st public meeting to order. My name is Kyle Cooper, and I'm the president of the Chicago Police Board. I want to thank CAN-TV for covering this meeting today. It is being live streamed at cantv.org and on the CAN-TV app, and it's televised on CAN-TV 27. Along with myself, we have the following board members in attendance this evening. We have Vice President of the Board, Ms. Claudia Badillo, Board Member Tyler Hall, Board Member Catherine Liss, Board Member Arlette Porter, Board Member Andrea Safakis, and Board Member Cynthia Velasquez. There's Mr. Safakis right there. And Board Member Block is unable to attend this meeting. He may be joining us later remotely. And when he does, I will make a motion. In addition to the police board members, we have the following city officials with us this evening. We have Chief Angel Navalis for the Superintendent of Police, Mr. Larry Snelling. We have the Interim Chief Administrator for the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Ms. LaKenya White. We have the Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety, Ms. Tabara Richardson. We have the Deputy Chief of the Chicago Police Department's Bureau of Internal Affairs, Ms. Tracy Walker. We have the General Counsel to the Superintendent, Scott Spears. And with us, as always, is the Police Board's Executive Director, Mr. Max Caproni. We will now proceed to the items on the meeting agenda. Is there a motion to approve the draft minutes of the board's public and closed meeting held on July 17th?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor, raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Seeing all hands raised, the motion passes. The next regular meeting of the Chicago Police Board will take place September 18th at 7:30 p.m. And that meeting will take place where all the Chicago Police Board meetings take place, which is right here at the Chicago Public Safety Headquarters. The board meets in executive session to discuss various matters. Those discussions are closed to the public as authorized by Section 2C1, 4, 11, and 21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Information on matters discussed in the executive sessions is included in the minutes of the meetings posted on the board's website. Is there a motion to close a series of future executive sessions as authorized by these sections of the Open Meetings Act?
Yes, so moved.
I second.
All in favor, raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Seeing all hands raised, the motion passes. The next item on the agenda is police disciplinary cases. This includes taking final action on two matters and then an update on the status of the litigation regarding the arbitration of serious cases of police misconduct. The police board hears cases when the superintendent files charges recommending that a sworn officer be discharged from the Chicago Police Department for violating CPD's rules of conduct. The board, as authorized by the Open Meetings Act, has discussed in a closed meeting two police disciplinary cases. We will now take final action on these cases. Regarding case number 24 PB 3038, is there a motion to find police officer Thomas McNichols not guilty of failing to reside in the city of Chicago?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I will now call on the members of the board for their votes. Board Member Badillo.
Aye.
Board Member Hall.
Aye.
Board Member Liss.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Safakis.
Aye.
And Board Member Velasquez.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. Voting in favor are Board Members Badillo, Block, Hall, Liss, Porter, Safakis, Velasquez, and myself. The motion passes. Is there a motion to adopt the draft of the written findings and decision that has been reviewed by all board members who participated in deciding this case?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Seeing all hands raised and hearing all ayes, the motion passes. The written findings and decision will be entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and then promptly posted on the police board's website. The next disciplinary case is case number 22 PB 3009-1, which the board decided in October 2023 regarding police officer Armando Ugarte. He filed a second motion requesting that the board change the date of his reinstatement to the Chicago Police Department. Is there a motion to deny Officer Ugarte's second motion?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
I will now call on the members of the board for their votes. Board Member Badillo?
Aye.
Board Member Hall?
Aye.
Board Member Liss?
Aye.
Board Member Porter?
Aye.
Board Member Safakis?
Aye.
And Board Member Velasquez?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion passes. A written order will be entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and then promptly posted on the police board's website. I will now provide an update on the status of litigation on the arbitration of police disciplinary cases. As some of you may know, on August 8th, the Illinois Appellate Court affirmed the Circuit Court's ruling that arbitration proceedings for the most serious cases of police misconduct must be open to the public. This decision is a victory for both the residents of Chicago and the hardworking members of the Chicago Police Department. Full public access to these hearings and decisions is essential for ensuring accountability and increasing the community's trust in the Chicago Police Department and its officers. Transparency not only reassures the public that alleged misconduct is addressed fairly and consistently, but it also protects the vast majority of the Chicago police officers who serve honorably by making clear the difference between those who uphold the law and those who violate it. While this part of the decision received the most attention, I want to alert the public to the second part of the appellate court's decision. The second part of the appellate court's decision involves a ruling in which the court ruled in favor of the Fraternal Order of Police by striking down the longstanding practice of allowing CPD to suspend officers without pay once charges are brought and while cases are pending. The parties now have 35 days from August 8th, which is until September 12th, to attempt to appeal this decision until the Illinois Supreme Court in the form of filing a petition for leave. If a petition for leave to appeal is filed, it likely will not be ruled upon for several months. It therefore might be some time before this litigation is concluded and an arbitration process that is agreed to by the parties is fully resolved. Then, once a process is in place, there may be a backlog of cases to be heard. As all discharge cases in which the accused officer has elected arbitration, there's about 20 of those cases right now, have been on hold for about a year and a half. As I have, and I will continue to do, I encourage officers facing instances and violations or allegations of police misconduct to have their cases heard by the board rather than wait an indefinite period of time before an arbitration process is set up. As I've repeatedly stated, the board, as evidenced by its decisions this year, I think makes clear, is committed to ensuring that officers face a fair and a public hearing in front of their fellow Chicago citizens. We at the police board will continue to keep the public informed of any new developments and in the litigation and of the status of the current disciplinary cases pending before the board. And I encourage you all to check out the news and discipline section of our website, which is chicago.gov/policeboard, for the most current information. The next item on the agenda is appeals. When a person who applies to become a Chicago police officer is disqualified and removed from the eligibility list due to the results of a background investigation, that individual has a right to appeal that decision to the police board. The board, as authorized by the Open Meetings Act, has discussed in a closed meeting one appeal. We will now take final action on this appeal. Is there a motion to reverse the disqualification decision for the following appeal? 25AA07.
Yes, so moved.
Second.
I will now call on the members of the board for their vote. Vice President Badillo?
Aye.
Board Member Hall?
Aye.
Board Member Liss?
Aye.
Board Member Porter?
Aye.
Board Member Safakis?
Aye.
And Board Member Velasquez?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion passes. The written decisions of these appeals will be entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and promptly posted on the police board's website. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's request for the board's authorization to solicit funds to cover the cost of hosting the CPD's annual police recognition ceremony and luncheon on May 2026. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's request?
Yes, so moved.
I second.
All in favor, raise your hands and say aye.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion passes. At this time, I'd now like to call on Chief Novales to give the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. My name is Chief Novales with the Chicago Police Department, and I'm honored to be here on behalf of Superintendent Larry Snelling. And as always, I will take copious notes and ensure that I share them with the superintendent upon his return. This month, we continue to secure multiple large events like Lollapalooza, Fiesta del Sol, the Air and Water Show, and Bud Billiken. Thousands of residents and visitors were in attendance in these events, and our Chicago police officers were visible and present throughout each of these events, maintaining public safety. I want to thank the officers who worked to cancel days off to ensure these large events, as well as the officers that continue to work citywide to protect our neighborhoods. They miss personal events and family functions because they understand how important it is to keep our city safe. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen trust with community, CPD hosted National Night Out engagements across Chicago earlier this month. Each of our districts hosted engagements that brought together officers, community members, families, children for a safe and fun night of food and games. In addition, since January 2025, CPD has logged into their community engagement management system 9,824 community engagements. 5,251 of these gave folks the opportunity to connect with police and work together to keep their community safe. We also continue to reduce crime and make Chicago a city safe for all. So far this year, homicides are down 32%, shooting victims are down 37%, and shooting incidents are down 37%. In our drive to increase compliance with the city's consent decree, CPD has posted 3 policies for public comment. Important policies pertaining to protection of human rights. This policy closes on September 22, 2025. Prohibitions regarding racial profiling and other bias-based policing. That policy comment period closes September 22nd, 2025. De-escalation in response to resistance and use of force. That policy will be closing September 26, 2025. CPD invites everyone here tonight, watching at home, to log on to www.chicagopolice.org/transform. Review the policies. Provide your feedback. This is every Chicagoan's police department, and your input is important. In closing, as summer begins to wind down, and our youth begin a new school year, we will continue to do everything we can to protect the kids and the people in the city of Chicago. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Novales. I now like to call on Chief Administrator White to give her report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I have some data from July. So in July of 2025, we registered 622 complaints and notifications. Of those 622 complaints, 77 were retained by COPA because it fell under our jurisdiction. In July, we did 1 video release. COPA released video and other materials from the fatal officer-involved shooting near 4300 West North Avenue. COPA also attended 26 community engagement events. And I just want to highlight some of those events that we attended. The budget engagement roundtables, the 3rd series, which was at Kennedy King College, the youth budget engagement roundtable, My Shy, My Future, Take Back the Block, Alderman in the Park, and CPS Back to School, BASH. We also attended the National Night Out this month for the police districts, which was the 7th, the 11th, and the 14th district. I am excited to announce Session 5 of COPA's People's Academy, which will begin next month, starting September 23rd, 2025, through October 28th, 2025. It will be on Tuesdays from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at Kennedy King College. This will be an in-person session only. This 6-week condensed version of COPA's Training Academy is for the public, civilian or sworn, and organizations around the country interested in learning about civilian police oversight, investigative and legal concepts, as well as the role of COPA's policy, research, and analysis division. That's our PRAD division. Each course will be taught by COPA subject matter experts. If you'd like to sign up or learn more, please visit us at chicagocopa.org, and we also have some cards up here on the table for you to take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Administrator White. At this time, I will now call upon the members of the public who have signed up in advance to speak. And to make sure that everybody who has signed up to speak gets a turn at the lectern, I would just ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes. The first person who has signed up to speak is T.C. McCoy II.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
My name is T.C. McCoy II. I was a Chicago police officer for 28 and a half years. I was here last month. I was a Cook County sheriff for 5.5 years before that. I come here to say this to you. For 30 years, I've been working on an investigation. I want this officer to stand up, please, again. Officer Edward Lady Jackson, Jr., better known as Pac-Man, was sentenced to the penitentiary for 115 years for a crime he didn't commit. I want this officer to stand up. This is Officer Gregory Crillton. They sentenced him to the penitentiary for 12 years for a crime he didn't commit. When people talk about you and brag about you, they call that praise. When you brag about yourself, they call that boasting. Commander O'Shields started community policing in 1988 on the west side of Chicago. He went to Washington, D.C., and he told the President of the United States about me and my partner, Jerry Sappho, Howard Sappho's brother. The President of the United States made a trip from 1700 Pennsylvania Avenue to come to the west side to meet with me and Jerry Sappho. I was on the front page of the Chicago Tribune, and he came close to me. I'm carrying a .357 revolver, the most powerful man in the world, and he stopped and talked to me for 5 minutes inside the station because the commander told him we went from the second worst crime district to the third most livable district in the city of Chicago. Check your records. Right after that, less than a week after that, Chicago Police Department promoted this gentleman right here. His name is Michael W. Hoke, and made him Deputy Superintendent of Internal Affairs. This is John Burge's first partner. He came up with a scheme to frame me and my officers for doing a good job. I just made 75 on August the 11th this month. And you can't find one person in the city of Chicago in 75 years to say I begged, borrowed, stole anything from them. He came up with a scheme, like I told you last month. And what he did was he gave an undercover car, this car right here, this is something similar, to a criminal that they hired to go take to another lawbreaker who look like me. I'm gonna be here every month until we get this thing adjudicated. I'm not going nowhere.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Appreciate your time. The next person who's signed up to speak is Talia Janjua. Is Talia in the audience right now? If not, the next person is Linko Perry. Okay, 2 minutes.
That's my police partner, Nico Perry. All-American high school basketball player at Marshall High School in the 60s. He also, it's on film, gave this car right here, this Chevrolet. This was Michael Holt's car. He gave it to a police agent named Herbert Brown Jr., who looked just like Officer Jackson right here. If you seen them walk down the street, you'd think they were identical twins. And they robbed an FBI agent. They framed this officer right here for saying that he was the driver of the car. And anybody in this planet can tell you cannot be at two different places at the same time. He was at 26 in California in a trial at the same time that he's supposed to have been at 5721 West Bloomingdale. The Chicago Police Department made us go through hell to get on the police job. This gentleman right here was tortured at the MCC for 39 months. He was put in solitary confinement because he wouldn't lie on me and Jerry Sappho and other members of my team. This officer right here was put in solitary confinement for 29 months, 33 months, because he wouldn't lie on me and Jerry Sappho. You could look at me like, man, I got two heads. I'm bringing it to you. Pretty soon I'm gonna take it to the world. I see Alderman Moore over there. He was on a radio show that I was co-host, and we had 10 million listeners. It was called the Butt Naked Truth Show. And he would tell you, my voice goes all over this country. This gentleman right here tried to tell y'all, when you came at me, that was the worst thing you ever did in your life. I don't care. When you go on the west side of Chicago and you ask those lawbreakers about me and you say, hey, do you know that guy T.C. McCoy and Jerry Sappho? They'll tell you, mess with them if you want to.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy.
Real quickly, I'll finish up on
Okay.
this. My second oldest brother was in Air Force Intelligence in Vietnam, and he did all kind of work all over the country for the government. And he instilled in me one thing, and every officer in here who did any kind of work on the street will tell you this. The worst person to ever meet on the street is that person that don't care about living. You destroyed my life.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy.
I'll be back next month.
The next person who signed up to speak is Ms. Helen Herring. Henning. Apologies.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Helen Henning. I've been coming here off and on for many years, and the staff has changed. I've been a victim of organized crime, stalking, and police misconduct. I was awarded Hello? Okay. I was awarded $10 million, and I went through the U.S. District Attorney's Office at 219 South Dearborn on the 5th floor, which I was there earlier today. This started around 2003 and 2004 when Dana, later the Phil Klein and Dana Starks were there. The administration and the staff has changed multiple times. But anyway, my money was stolen, given out through police and FBI agents working together, which was a ring of them together. They have put multiple murder contracts on my life. I have to have a task force to follow me around and keep me safe. My brother was also a second deputy on the Chicago Police Department. He retired now under Leroy Martin. I moved to Naperville. They came out there. They put me on high alert as a threat. Even last week, I've had these murder attempts on my life, but I have a task force. I live in a senior building, and they're old gangsters. And they say they're not in the mob, but they are because the reports come back that they are. They're constantly harassing me in the building. I have police reports after police reports, and there's one particular person named John Williams, and they traced through Faith Henderson, but she jumped up and moved. They traced the police through her phone. So every time I go somewhere, they follow me around. I don't care what state, what jurisdiction, where I live at. It's the same thing, but a different set of police and a different set of people. I can't understand why I can't get to the bottom of this and somebody can't contact me and tell me where to come when I file these complaints. But these people find out all my personal business, and it's me who's going through this.
Thank you for coming, Ms. Senning. If you stick around at the end of the meeting, I'm sure one of the uniformed officers would be happy to speak with you about what's going on to see if they can help.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. The next person who is signed up to speak is Jay Starks.
Hello, I'm Jay Starks. I reside in the 2nd Police District, and I'm here to add my voice to the mass of community voices and other district council members in calling for a vote of no confidence on Commander John Foster, who has faced over 60 civilian complaints as well as involvement in coercing false statements leading to wrongful convictions, and also in calling for the investigation and prosecution of Sergeant Brian Forberg for a pattern of witness coercion and evidence tampering, leading to nearly 20 wrongful convictions. If we are really serious about increasing trust between the public and the police department, then all police involved in crimes should be publicly outed and prosecuted. That completes my statement.
Thank you, Mr. Starks.
Ms. McKenna, I told you I would have something for you the next time I came.
Yes,
ma'am. I'm concerned about the sworn affidavits not being used when people come in to complain about police officers. I talked with 4 CR sergeants, 2 in Area 1, 2 in Area 2, that take the complaints when the people come in. And because of the Safety Act, that has been not allowed. I think that's a problem for me and for community members. If you're gonna come in and complain about someone, and I think that you should be willing to swear that you're telling the truth. So we'll continue to look into this, and we will look at our elected officials who put the Safety Act together, because there's some things that we feel affect our community in the wrong way. But I wanted to mention it to you, because I told you I was going to have something for you.
Yes, you did.
You come up with a lot of complaints that you say you solve, and I wonder would they be the same if people were swearing that they were telling the truth, okay? I also, when I took the COPA class a few years ago, I suggested that since they had so many people coming in complaining, involve community members in when they come in for those complaints. And Ms. Kirsten did not accept that. But since we're trying to involve the community and the police, I think that that is something that you should consider. So the sworn affidavits, I think they should be used again, like they used to be. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you as always, Ms. Edwards.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards.
And the last individual who signed up to speak is Pastor Doyle. Thank you.
Good evening, Board President and support. And what would you do if I walked over here right now and slapped the Board President? Yes, this is a different type of presentation tonight. Because you'd go, what brought that on? And you'd arrest me, correct? So where's the accountability from all of the miscreants on the west side who caused all of that damage within the last month at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Just saying that because again, we play favorites, meaning we charge adults for being violent. But for those of us who look like me, who are younger than 18, we give us a pass. What's wrong with that? So I just want to give you something to think about because since now school is in session, it's an opportunity to go straight to the perpetrators who did that on the west side within the last month and ask them a direct question. What needs to happen in your house since you don't pay rent? What needs to happen in your life since you obviously don't read to change up so that you're not destructive ever? Because again, you can't fix what you won't face. And I think it's abysmal with a mayor on the west side that had no direct comment about what happened. At the end of the day, are we going to continue to bury officers? Are we going to continue to bury loved ones? Are we going to continue to act in ignorance? Or are we going to be accountable across the board? Because again, I like Attorney Cooper, and I think that would be out of the norm if I walked over and slapped him. But since the school year has started, it happens in every school, every day to teachers, every day to support staff, and the majority of the miscreants look like me.
Thank you, Pastor Toyle. At this time, all the members of the public who have signed up to speak have spoken. I'm now calling the public meeting in August to a close. Oh, before we adjourn, Board Member Block has joined us on the phone. Is there a motion to permit his remote appearance?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And with that, you're welcome. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn this month's meeting?
Yes, I move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. This meeting has been concluded.